I'm Theresa Harlin, and I am the daughter of Elizabeth Campili Harlin, who was raised here on Lair's Landing, but we're calling it Felix Cove. And I'm leaning against the porch of her house that she was raised in, and where many of her relatives were born and raised here, and some passed here. I am the adopted daughter of Elizabeth, Liz, and but I grew up on the stories from here. So in our living room, when family got together, these are the stories from here that I heard and surrounded me as I was growing up, from this cove and also the next cove over at Marshall Beach. Her aunt lived at Marshall Beach. There was 2 houses over there. So her extended family had these 2 coves, and so this was her world. By birth, I am Kiowa Pueblo and Jemez Pueblo, and I'm fortunate enough to know both families, my birth family and my adopted family. But we're here today because I'm working to urge the park to fully restore the house, and there's a shed behind us that were built by my mom's grandpa, Joe Felix, and his brother, Ben Felix. They, in the 1800s, built this home, the shed, and the 2 homes at Marshall Beach. And these are the last remaining structures built by Coast Miwok people. There's no other place like this. It's so this is it, and this is a sign for me, a symbol of the persistence, the resilience, the integrity, the stronghold that Native people, that her Coast Miwok ancestors, her Tamal people had on who they are, where they're from. So as Native people, we're tied to the land. This is her land. This is the history of Point Reyes National Seashore that doesn't get told. So when visitors come into Point Reyes National Seashore, they learn all about the historic ranches. They learn about it because they're on the National Register of Historic Places. They learn about it because you're driving through cattle pastures. You see the commercial ranches. They're operational, they're active. You can't really go anywhere in the park without seeing ranching, whether it's dairy or cattle ranching. So along Tomales Bay, this is Coast Miwok home. And this is the history that's not being told. So along the Tomales Bay, there are Coast Miwok people living on the west side and on the east side, all along the bay. And so even after the disruption of the missions, the missions pulled people out of their ancestral homelands, out of their villages. People ended up working in the missions, either compulsory, or some people came and went. But there was disease in the missions. There was torture, punishment, brutal punishment, murder, rape, death. I mean, it's just incredible, the stories that you can read about what happened in the missions. And so I think that the fact that my family lived here through the 1950s is an incredible story, that they managed to they managed to survive that experience in the missions, either by their intelligence, by their wit, by their just endurance. And they were able to come back and establish homes along the coves. And so this wasn't something that they came to and thought, oh, this might be a good place. This is familiar to them. And so what happened is that families came back and reestablished homes, or maybe some people kept their homes. But all these coves along the bay are old. There are archaeological sites all throughout the national park, and yet we don't know about the complexity, the level of organization of the fishing villages, the shell processing villages, the organizational of the villages, the number of people that actually lived here. We're not told that story as visitors to the park. And that's what I would like to see.